Welcome to another episode of GlideChat. My name is Mike Lombardo, CEO of GlideFast Consulting, and I'm sitting here with Harry Tillman, Senior Technical Consultant at GlideFast. Harry, how are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here, man, and live and in person. Live and in person, straight from Colorado, huh?
Absolutely.
How was that flight?
That flight was long, but a couple stops, and we're here, man.
Maskless.
Yes, maskless all the way.
All the way. So, Harry, I've known you, man, going back, I think 6 years ago, if I had to say.
Absolutely.
I can't believe it's been that long. Okay, so I met you 6 years ago when, man, GlideFast was like me. It's like 2-3 of us. And it was for, we'll just say, a large company that does a lot of different things. So you were basically a ServiceNow customer, but it was before you weren't really involved with ServiceNow, right? What was your role there actually at the time?
At the time, I was a program manager for branch services.
Branch services. Okay. So what I understood of what you guys did was you guys did kind of massive rollouts. For example, like a large shoe store that has multiple chains, they may roll out 20 stores in a night. Is that on point to kind of what you did?
Yes, we had some large customers. We would have many technicians going to different locations, and we had a lot of gear, a lot of equipment that needed to be there on time to work with these guys.
Yeah, all at the same time, like overnight, and a lot of coordination, a lot so that's cool. And so I was there kind of, I think you and another great guy, David Benici, we got to give him a shout out. We love David. We love David. David, we love you. He took a real chance, like, I think ServiceNow, this could be done in ServiceNow. And I don't even know how he even knew about ServiceNow. Do you know how he first knew about ServiceNow?
Well, we had an opportunity as a program manager to figure out a way to deliver thousands of locations and solve the problem of making sure we have pieces and parts and all the logistics managed through ServiceNow.
Yeah.
And what we ended up doing was taking over an abandoned domain separated instance. Wow. And we created something in the PPM tool that is actually still being used today. Yeah. It was a mobile app.
It was the Hawaii instance, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah. That's what they called it.
That's what they called it. I can't believe 6 years ago. I mean, that was exciting. I remember the first time I met you, like you came in, you were like, no BS. You're like, listen, Mike, if you can help me do this, I'm on your team. I'm with you. Me and David, we're doing stuff people don't want to do here. And if you help us achieve our goals, we'll stick with you. And I was like, all right, man, let's go.
That's a great interpretation. I remember my job was on the line.
Yeah, I know.
I really needed something to really, save our team. And you came in and vouched for us and said, this ServiceNow instance can do it. Yeah. And once you gave us the green light, David rolled with it. And man, we got hundreds of technicians on there. We had
crazy.
Our shipping information tied to locations. Yep. And we technically was able to move 10, 20, 30 tasks of things going to one location to another. And really, I don't think we really missed any shipments or had any, truck rolls.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And so where did the platform go from there? Your organization used ServiceNow in different ways and even, was an implementer in some scenarios. Where did branch services go? Did it just keep expanding and building on that? Where did it go after that first initial go live that we had?
I would say there was a moment in time where we created the managed service instance. Yeah. And I'll give a shout out to Rich Dobry. Yep. And at some point, we migrated off the domain separated instance into that managed ServiceNow instance. And I will tell you, the program expanded quite rapidly. Yeah. Because then we had multiple large companies working with us on many different levels. And we basically proved out that we could do 10,000 sites with a very low amount of project managers and project coordinators. And we were able to tie a lot of things together based on location information, mobile, and getting people registered.
Did you guys ever calculate ROI on on that, or it's tough, right? It's tough.
Well, if I had to take a swag, I mean, if you think about any time you reroute an engineer or you reroute, missed deliveries and the pain that hits your customer, I mean, it could be in upwards in the millions before you know it, and you are losing money on a project.
Yep.
So if I had to calculate, we were saving so much money because we didn't have the truck roll.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we were perfect, but I would say our missed deliveries were drastically reduced.
Yeah. And that's the overall business is improved, right? It's the efficiencies are go up, and the risks and the issues go down, right? It's just life causes so many issues, and when you don't have technology adding to that and being on your side and helping, I think it just makes everybody's lives easier.
Well, paint it this way. If you were doing this all in email and you had hundreds of technicians and you had inventory going from many different locations around the world, you lose track and everything becomes a spreadsheet. And what do we do best in ServiceNow? We centralize.
Yeah, hell yeah. One
I can see this
data.
location that I put in a location. Hey, this is what's all going to happen in these series and these time stamps of how we're going to complete the work.
Yep.
And we can share that with the customer.
That was branch services, right?
Yes.
At what point did Travis come into play here, and then Josh, right? Because I know. So at some point, I kind of moved out. I think we just ended the contract for a while, and then Travis came in. I know Travis kind of reinvented, how are you guys use ServiceNow, or that was, I mean,
I would say,
thing.
Travis.
Yeah.
Toulson.
That was your guy. Shout out Travis. We miss you, Travis.
Out, man.
Yeah.
I would say Travis took us from the domain separated abandoned instance, and he helped create the ServiceNow WWT1 SC instance that we're using today for professional services.
Yeah. But CSM, right?
Well, actually, it's a CSM contract, but we did it in an ITSM way.
Wow.
And we built out that capability. And I will tell you, Travis is a wonderful guy, because I couldn't believe he could migrate us from that terrible instance, because I wanted to keep all our data, because the data was important. He converted all that data into this enterprise instance, and I'll tell you, he did a great job. He took our team to the next level. He taught me a lot about ServiceNow.
Yeah.
At some point, I think when we slowed down with the other company and working with GlideFast, it was less than a month.
Yeah.
Because David Benici worked his magic.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, somebody's telling me, I got a guy for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. I remember
no
that.
one's going to replace Travis.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. So I remember, having that tough call, because one of the things you told me was, hey, you can never take Travis from me. And so I had to have that tough call, a couple tough calls. We raised the rate a couple times, but I told you, listen, Josh, I know we love Travis. No one can ever replace Travis, but Josh Brostoff is phenomenal. And so tell me what Josh comes into the picture. How'd that work out?
Wow. The word is wow, amazing. And I am glad to say he's my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. He loves you. I talks about you all the time.
This guy, I'm not going to age myself, but I'm an older gentleman in the IT industry, and meeting Josh, young guy,
hungry,
he's a grinder.
He's a grinder,
and he's very smart.
Whatever it takes. Yeah.
He took us to a different level.
Yeah.
And he stuck with us for 4 years.
Yeah. Wow.
At least that I can remember.
Wow. Is he still there?
He's still kind of there.
Yeah, he's still kind of there.
But I learned more from Josh in the 4 years that I've learned in almost any platform.
Yep.
And Josh actually built out everything for us. The managed services piece, he's doing the CSM. I mean, he's doing the right things. He's a great consultant, architect, and leader. I mean, I gave him a very tough task to help manage my team, because at the time I was the service program owner, or platform owner, and I also am a technical guy. And I had a team that was not just GlideFast, but I had other partners to help me.
Yeah.
And I tasked him to be the leader of everything technical.
Yeah. Talking about your growth, because I really wasn't there for you really getting down and deep into ServiceNow. So like, talk to me about that transition, because it's hard. You know, like I was a help desk guy to getting into that. So I wasn't like really technical to start, but how did you make that transition? How did what was like, this is what I want to do? What changed you?
Oh boy, I'm gonna date myself now. So 96, 97, I started my technical career at IBM.
Wow.
And then from there, I worked there for 6 years or 7 years as a technical person. And then I decided I'm going to be a project manager and go into leadership. And I did that for, 14 years before I made the transition to ServiceNow.
Yeah.
I still remember seeing ServiceNow for the first time on Eureka.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is a clumsy looking thing.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not cool.
It was very boxy.
And then of course, once I was at WWT and I knew I was on this big program and my job was on the line.
Yep.
I needed an enterprise platform to support a fully centralized process to support branch services.
Yeah.
So how I got introduced to this was someone threw away an instance that no one wanted. Actually, I had 4 to pick from. I picked one that looked like it was a ServiceNow instance. I had no idea what's the back end of it.
Yeah.
I had a junior developer configuring PPM for me to do the things I needed to do.
Was that Steven?
Steven Chen.
Steven Chen. Shout out Steven.
Absolutely.
Great kid. Great guy.
Oh my God.
Great
guy.
Guy.
He started my process.
Yep. Good guy.
And then from there, I went to Knowledge 18.
Yeah.
I went out there and I took my first ServiceNow class as the field service management class. I met Goran.
Yeah. Goran.
Yeah. And he
Where
probably
does he live? Where does he live?
I think he's somewhere in Europe.
So in Europe. I want him at GlideFast. You know, I'm like going to start an entity out there just to get him. You know?
Absolutely.
But he's at ServiceNow now. Shout out Goran. Yeah.
Yes, Goran. Yeah. You remember me. I was the guy that didn't know much, and I was in my first class of FSM and Knowledge 18. And I fell in love with the idea of field service management then.
Yeah.
Because they had the app. You had the mobile capabilities,
yep.
And I needed that for my techs.
Yeah.
And that's where the love happened, right there. And from there, that's when David reached out to you, and this is how it all began.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I'm not going to say this to brag, but I think GlideFast University was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Travis, Josh was teaching me what the heck is under the hood and how it works.
I know. The best way to learning, for me, the best way to learn something is having a problem and solving it, in real time. Instead of reading a book and saying, here's how to solve the problem, I need to actually solve the problem, and that's how I learn.
Yep, exactly. But I didn't have to solve it like you did. I had the best experts.
Yeah.
I had the experts telling me how to do the thing.
You really
so
did. Yeah.
My learning curve went really quick, but since I couldn't be technical, I had to be like a leader. I didn't get the chance to become a true developer until, you gave me this opportunity.
First of all, thank you for coming to GlideFast, because, nobody was more excited than Josh. He's like, man, I don't care. Just get Harry here. I'll put him on my team. This is what he wants. We got to do this for Harry, blah, blah, blah. And thank you for David for not allowing us that to happen too. But one thing I wanted to ask you, because I feel like field service management is an underutilized application in ServiceNow. I don't think enough companies use it. One thing on that is, maybe why do you think it's overlooked, and why do you think there's so much value? And then one maybe specific question I was thinking is, did you use the mobile app, or did you use Service Portal also available mobilely? Like, did you go the app route, or did you go like use a browser on the iPhone?
The way I looked at it, I looked at a couple personas.
Yeah.
Right. There's the people that coordinate and manage the logistics.
Yep.
Right.
Which is usually on the desktop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was the field technicians that can't pull out a laptop and iPad, and they have, everyone has an Android, everyone has an iPhone.
Yeah.
You have one or the other.
One or the other. That's it.
And what ServiceNow did was solve the problem of, hey, you could put this on my app. So there's the classic app, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty clunky.
Yeah.
And then they came out with the mobile
Yeah.
app, and I just need the technicians to do a few functions.
Yeah.
Understand what they're doing while they're there. Can they get access to a document? Can they check off a series of events that are occurring with them?
Yep.
And if they have a problem, can they reach out to get some help?
Yep.
And one of the concepts that David Benici created was the command center. And the command center was able to go real time and talk to those guys, and they're updating these work notes in a task.
I know.
And one command center agent could manage 10 to 20 resources in 20 different locations.
Yep.
So ensuring that we were supporting people out in the field, ensuring that they are able to, look at their instructions, know the location, and use, Google Maps.
I know
that takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And why is it underused or underutilized? I think it's a lot about imagination.
Yeah.
And people just don't want to solve the problems with new innovative ideas. They reserve going back to their spreadsheet.
Their safe place.
They love seeing thousands of emails.
Yeah.
And they like to update some whiz-bang spreadsheet. Even if it's online, it's still a spreadsheet.
Yep.
It's not a centralized repository.
Yep.
It's not real time.
No, it's not.
I ran into a trouble with a field tech. I could turn it red. I could turn it green, yellow. That was some of the things that you guys help implement in our system that kind of helped our team really make money.
Yeah.
You turn a project yellow, you got people saying, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And we had senior leadership helping us.
I know. I used to love it. I'm about the money. Harry used to say, I'm about the money, man. We're here to make money.
We're not losing it.
We're not losing money here. That's what I liked. Like, that was music to my ears, too. You and Benici was like, wait, listen, we're here to make money. This is how we make money. And I think a lot of times customers, because I think we're, a lot of ServiceNow owners or the IT background, they forget about that money aspect of cost savings and especially brand services. That's a revenue generating. I was just talking about the last podcast. Like, I want ServiceNow to be part of the revenue generating aspects of the business, period. Like, that's where the future of ServiceNow is. And this is one example of that. And what's your advice to maybe other leaders? Because I look at what you and Benici did was very brave, right? You got to, that's one of my core values is be brave, right? And a lot of the times with new ServiceNow customers and choosing a partner and choosing ServiceNow, I find myself really trying to talk them off the ledge and just telling them, just be brave, take the leap of faith. So what's some advice you can have for people to maybe maybe calm them down, because a lot of people are nervous, and just believe, that this is going to make your life better, and, get out of email.
I would say my big advice, besides being brave, is understand your processes and how people do work, and figure out efficiencies in improving their work. Like you said, it's about money, and I didn't grow up rich. I was very poor.
Same.
You're getting money coming in and you're getting money coming out. And what I learned is you want more in than going out, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's very simple as that. And I know we're all cost conscious and we want to cut costs. We want to do this, but we can't cut costs despite of making more money. And you got to bring in the revenue.
Yeah, you need money.
Professional services, right, versus IT. IT kind of looks at things in a way of defense and
it's a cost to the business.
You got a budget and you got to do X, Y, and Z. When you have an offensive mindset,
it's different.
You got to really look at, hey, here's money coming in for a project to deliver X, and it's fixed, right?
Yeah.
There's not too many variables. But the project manager can pull some levers to bring in more cash and to reduce costs.
Yeah.
And pop the GP. Mm-hmm. And when I look at
gross profit.
Yes, gross profit.
So they know. I look at that every day. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. And for the right reasons, you should look at ways at how I can increase my revenue by providing exceptional service and
increase the margin.
And then also when you're looking at losing money or spending money,
the cost,
how
the
do
overhead.
I ensure we're not doing workarounds or patchwork? You know, if I can make it easy and simple and I could do more with less, you're going to make more money. You're going to have happier customers. So if you look at it just from an offensive perspective and what I can make some money, that's the way I look at the business. That's how I run my life.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm a big offensive guy, not offensive. Offense versus
like
defense.
Touchdowns.
Yeah, because it's funny, and I feel like we're kind of getting into like finance talk, but I look at like my mother's generation and my grandparents' generation, and their always thing was save a penny, save it. Defense, right? Defense. My mother has a TV I'm like, Mom, we've had this TV since I was 10. Get a new TV. She's like, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. I just bought her the TV, but because they're just bred that way to save. And I'm like, the new generation is we got to bring in money. You got to bring in money, and it's, you're going to spend it. It's about cash flow. It's about generating revenue. And I never really, it's funny, I never really kind of put that two together with ServiceNow. And in our world is like, we need to be offensive. We need to be brave, take risks, and innovate on ways to generate new revenue and also save it, and cut down the costs. We got to figure out a way to incorporate that into the title. That's of this podcast. That's awesome.
But that's what ServiceNow did for us.
Yeah.
And we did that for 4 years.
That's
really
awesome.
well.
Yeah.
I wish I could talk to management. I would be directly telling them right now.
Yeah.
You have the best tool on the planet.
You already have it. It's right there. You're already paying for it too.
And I always describe it as the Corvette that I have.
Sitting in the garage.
It's in there. It's fast. But let me put a tuner on it.
Yeah.
And if I tune it just right, that bad boy is going to hit 300 miles per hour.
Harry, man, we go way back. I appreciate everything. All the way back when I was just a scared little technical consultant in your office. And thank you for joining GlideFast. And what do you want to leave our audience with today?
I'll just say GlideFast is the real deal. And if you want to save some money and make some money, you got to spend some money on GlideFast.
I love it. Thank you. That's another episode of GlideChat. Follow us on Spotify, LinkedIn, and subscribe to us on YouTube.